Someone asked a question. They say, what are the reasons why men find strong women intimidating? Reasons why men find strong women intimidated or intimidating. Here's the deal. And my question that I asked on the question was, is it because her biceps are too big? Because what's a strong woman? What do we consider as a strong woman or a strong man? There is no such thing as a strong woman. No such thing as a strong man. No such thing. Just because you go through something doesn't make you strong. It makes you aware of your strength. Someone who is unaware of their strength doesn't mean that they are weak. Okay? If I'm unaware that I am Nigerian, does it make me less Nigerian? No. I'm just unaware of it. And we have to understand there is no strong or weak. God made nothing strong or weak. Things unaware or unaware. And just because a woman goes through certain things and takes certain things from her man or life is beating her down doesn't mean that she's weak. It means she hasn't recognized the power of her thoughts, of her choices, of her feelings yet. Many times what we call strong is an abrasive, rude person who just keep doing this and doing that, who don't like to listen to nobody, who just have their own mind. That's what we consider strong. Sometimes the most quietest person is the strongest one. Sometimes the most simplest person is the strongest one. The question is, what do you consider strong? What is strong? What's a strong woman? Yes, my mom went through so much. 5 kids by herself. Husband was gone. Father was gone. And my mom went through those. We call that strong. My mom became aware of her strength as she take one day at a time, and she learned how to put her feelings behind and do what she had to do. I don't know what we consider strong. A lot of times the reason why we still in our 50s and 60s having to be strong is because we keep creating our own mess. And so to get out of your own mess, you got to be strong. You got to use your power, your willpower. You got to force all these things to happen. That's not strong. A lot of times when you are not aware, when you are not conscious, you create a bunch of suffering for yourself. See, when you become conscious, you see clearly. And when you see clearly, you don't have to be in anything. You will see drama from a distance. You will see people from a distance. Their intentions, their desire, you will see it from a distance. A lot of times what we call strong is that we are not discerning. We don't have our intuition intact. And so we walk into some foolishness all the time by our thoughts and our feelings that we attracted. And when we face it, we get out of it. That's not strong. That's stupidity. That's being unaware. That's using too much energy to go against what you created. Do you get what I'm saying? There is no strong man or strong woman. There are aware man and unaware man. A man who's aware of his strength is a leader. He's aware of his sexual energy. He's aware of his characteristics or his character. He's aware of his choices, his feelings, his thoughts, his purpose. He's aware of those things. When you become aware, you don't have to be strong. You can just be aware. You don't have to be strong when you're aware. I promise you. Because a lot of times when you are aware, you avoid situations. Things just pass you by. It doesn't touch you. Because you see it from a distance. You don't get your feelings and your emotion involved in all these things because you see the truth outside of what it is. So why are men, or reasons why men are intimidated by strong women? What do you consider strong? Somebody who has their own job, who has their own home. There's a lot of strong women who don't have their own car. Circumstances whoop their butts, just like some men. Just because a man doesn't have his stuff right now, he doesn't have money flowing right now, it doesn't mean that he's weak. No, it means circumstances sometimes whip her butt. Just because a woman is going through something in a relationship where she loves someone and she don't want to leave, and she's afraid to leave, doesn't mean that she's weak. It just means that there's a lesson that she hasn't learned yet. It means that she's not aware of her inner strength yet. She's not aware of her choices and decisions yet. She's not aware that she can actually be free now. She's not aware of her freedom. And when you're not aware of your freedom, you go through some suffering, but you are not any weaker than the other person who's not. You're just more aware. A lot of times when we ask the question, I have my job, I got my house, I got, I got my, my career and my money, and I don't, men are intimidated by me. No, sometimes you leave out your attitude. You leave out the way you think. You leave out your energy. Sometimes you leave out the things that you project on people. Your insecurities, your chakra blocking, your safe, your safety, your unbalanced, a whole bunch of crap. Your trauma, you leave out those things. But it's better to say, why are men intimidated by me? Because you don't want to take responsibility for the energy that's running through you. The truth is, you can't beat us up. So why should we be intimidated? Especially when you mess with a man with his stuff together. You think if you meet a man with his stuff together, he's intimidated by you? No, he's not. The thing is, men just don't care about what you have. Only a broke man is, only a broke man who believe in 50-50 worried about what you have and your money and your home. A man like me don't care what you got. And come as you are, with or without. It doesn't change that I'm going to pay all the bills. It doesn't change that I'm going to, take care of the responsibility. It doesn't change anything, whether you have or not. So if you have all your stuff, you still don't intimidate a man with his stuff going on. The thing is, we keep messing. If you always got to be the bigger person, then you might have to realize that why you keep messing with these smarter people. Why you keep surrounding yourself with a bunch of smarter people? Because that's what you were attracting. That's where you feel probably more powerful. That's where you feel more valuable. That's where you feel more valued. That's where you feel more worthy. That's where you feel more stronger among those people who are little, because they look up to you. But when you find people with your own peer who don't need you like that, then you probably feel irrelevant. See, a lot of women, you don't even realize this. A lot of women, the reason why you keep meeting these men who are intimidated, or men who you have to give to and do for, a lot of times, you don't even realize this, but you give to be relevant. You give into that man sometimes to feel important. You give into that man so that he can recognize that he needs you. You give into that man so that you can feel important in his life. And so you think that in your mind it creates a space. Sometimes you feel, or you have trauma from your youth, because if you don't give to somebody, then you can't be loved, and you develop that mindset, and you give and you give and you do more and you go far and beyond, because that's how you feel loved. That's what you have to do to your parents. You have to get the best grades and the best things and just to be loved. Reasons why men are intimidated by strong women. Maybe your biceps. Maybe you got big shoulders. Maybe you got big old thighs and it's muscular and you can squat more than him. But all the other stuff, not necessarily. Meet people your level. Now, I know you are going to say, ain't no men my level. That's some BS. It's foolishness. It's a bunch of men your same level, but they probably don't look at you like that. See, here's the thing that you don't understand. When a woman gets to a certain level financially, that's the man that she wants. That's the only man that she wants. See, just like it's a small percentage of women who's in that six-figure and that space of, six-figure and stuff financially, is a small percent of men. And just because you make that money, you, in your mind, you only want a man who make that money or more. It's a very small percentage. Now, the men who make that much money, or who are that financially successful, or successful period, they don't care about how much money you make. So they have more options to choose from. They can choose from the Burger King lady, right? The janitor who works at the mall. They don't care. They don't care how much money you make. So you have a small amount to pick from. They don't. So you think in your mind, well, the men are intimidated by me, because no, the men have more choices and options. And if you keep leading with your money, you become just like a man. You keep leading with how much money you have in your career, you sound like a man. That's what men lead with. That's why these men lead with money. What else? Like, that's not attractive. Is that attractive to you? When a man approaches you and tells you how much money he have and his house and his car, does that turn you on? Then guess what? It don't turn us on either. It's not it's not nothing really that we care to, especially the men with stuff. We're not intimidated. You just have things that you haven't seen. Issues. Now, I ain't gonna lie. You mess with a man with nothing, he's gonna be a little insecure around you because he has nothing. You pick a man with nothing. Of course he's gonna be insecure. But does the ones with things, That's the one with their stuff. Do they approach you? Probably not. And if there's not, if they don't, let me know. Let's figure it out. Why? Again, it's a small percentage. Just like your small percentage of women who makes that much money. Men don't, it's not the most men that make a lot of money either. And all that have their own stuff like that, like how you have it. But those men have more options. It's not that they're intimidated by you. Not those men anyways. They just have more options. They have more options. Somebody who ain't bragging about how much money they make. Or what they have. I don't know what you consider a strong woman. But there's no strong or weak. Let's use the term. There's conscious and unconscious women. As so there are conscious and unconscious men. A conscious man is very gentle. It's not a gentleman. He's conscious. He's aware of his own strength. He's aware of his strength. He's gentle with his words, his actions, his behavior, his respect. He's gentle because he knows one false move or one reckless move can cause some damage. An unconscious man is reckless in his everything, in his emotion, in his words, his action, his presence, his absence. He's unconscious, so he don't know how much of an effect he has on someone else. That's what you call an unconscious man. He's not aware of his own stuff. He's not weak, he's just unconscious. When that weak man becomes conscious, his behaviors change because he understands that he's responsible for not just him, but people around him, how they feel and what he does to them. Do you understand? That's why he's called a gentleman. You see, it's like a giant. When you give a child to a giant, a giant is knowing his own strength. When a giant knows his own strength, he's very safe and he's very careful with the baby in his hands. You remember when your husband or your baby father held your child for the first time, how gentle he was because he knew his physical strength. He was aware. So he wanna squeeze too tight and squeeze too hard. The one who's not knowing their strength, they're gonna squeeze too hard, they're gonna do this, they're gonna drop it because they're not aware. It's just when you mess with a man who's not aware of his own strength, he's reckless. He does all this crap. It doesn't mean that he's weak, he's just unaware. It doesn't mean that his strength is not there. His strength becomes there when he becomes focused. His strength becomes there when he finds his purpose. When he finds understanding and wisdom, his strength is there. His strength was never not there. I hope this makes sense to you guys, man. There's no weak man or woman, and there's no strong man or woman. There's conscious and unconscious. Aware and unaware. That's it. Men are not intimidated by strong women because there's no strong woman. But the unconscious cannot recognize the conscious. It's very hard. An unconscious man won't value the conscious woman. That's what you gotta find, the conscious. And I know some of you all think that you all are conscious. Everybody think that they're conscious. That's on you. I hope this makes sense. Be blessed.